This is What School Didn't Teach Me, a podcast meant to build community on all the things school doesn't prepare you for. Hi, I'm your host, Jasmine Kiamber, and class is in session. Welcome. welcome to the classroom. It's your host, Jasmine Kiamber, and welcome. I'm so glad you're here on the What School Didn't Teach Me podcast. If it's your first time, welcome to the classroom. What School Didn't Teach Me is a podcast where we are here to build community. I started the podcast because I was looking at so many people do the same thing over and over again and never talking about it. And I said, well, that's kind of dumb. We should start talking about this thing called life, right? There are so many things that we didn't learn in school, so many things that only life can teach us. And we wouldn't be taking community. Wait, what? We wouldn't be taking advantage of our community if we were out here doing life alone. So I built this platform so that we can talk about life together. And I know you see, I'm not alone. This season, the theme was represent and represent, right? Representation, showing yourself authentically as a form of representation because somebody's always watching you, somebody's always inspired by you and what you do. And then just acknowledging that it is a journey to go and represent yourself and what that may look like. And so I wanted to make sure I had guests on here that inspired me and hopefully inspired you. So today I have my good friend Makale Moore on the pod.
Yes.
Y'all give a hand clap. I'm so grateful you're here, Kale.
I'm so glad to be here. I'm a big fan of What School Didn't Teach Me, so to be on here is like, oh, I'm famous. Like I made it.
No,
Good.
Kale, I'm like, you've been a day one. And that is so much more than I can ask of anybody. Like you have continued to encourage me and like pour life into me. So I'm overjoyed to finally have you here.
See, you're gonna make me cry before we start recording.
No,
And
no.
no.
Okay, so let's get down to the nitty gritty because I want the people to know you and I want them to know you ASAP. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I could give you like the academic professional rundown, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna give you the normal rundown. So my name is Kale. I am from the south side of Chicago, born and raised in West Inglewood. And was I'm a writer. I love to write. It is one of my favorite arts, and then I'm also an appreciator of visual arts. That's why you see the Chicago sign in the background. I got a lot more art around here and in the other room as well. Um, um, what else? What else? Oh, my favorite color is brown. My favorite color is brown. And I use the word love a lot, but not LOVE, but LUV.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess when it comes to more so rebranding and things like that, when I did go to counseling and stuff sophomore year, I figured out a lot about me. And my counselor, he told me, he was like, you believe and you have faith in things such as hope and love. And I was like, I've never heard somebody say it like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, I like this.
And cost the whole rebrand. I love that. I really do. Okay, so tell us, cause right, I see your Chicago photo in the back. We acknowledged it before we started rolling, but I want to come back to it. Tell us what life was like in Chicago. Tell us about that.
I would say life in Chicago it was beautiful. It was moments of not only hope and introspection and joy, but it was also duality throughout the whole midst of it because yes, everybody knows Chicago has this rep of being like very dangerous. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh yeah, nothing happens because just like any other city, stuff does happen. But I was crazy. I was listening to this song called LSD by Jamil.
Oh, by Jamila Woods. Yes.
Yes. And I love the chorus of that song because she says, even though you break my heart, the water is going to save me. And I think that perfectly describes Chicago because even though sometimes the city may break our heart, there is that undying, unbreakable bond and love that we have for the city, especially if you grew up there and you know what old Chicago was compared to today and its differences.
Yeah. Now, wasn't that song? Isn't that song based on Chicago, or is it based on a different city?
No, it's based on Chicago because I'm gonna be honest. Story with that song. I'm sorry, I'll be interrupt.
No,
Story with
no,
that
no, no.
song. Okay, so I thought it's the LSD like for drugs. I was like, oh,
Me
this is a
too.
pretty cool song, but I like it. And then when I was redoing some editing some parts for the book, I wanted to be intentional with every single song and things that I was putting up in there. So I was like, okay, let me make sure every song is by a Chicago artist, this, and that. And I found, and I was listening to that, and I was like, she's talking about Lakeshore Drive. That's what it is, LSD. And I was like,
Ooh.
ooh.
Oh, that's really cool. See, that's something that you would only get if you were from Chicago because at first I thought the song was about drugs too. And then I looked it up and it was like, oh no, it's about Chicago. But that was years ago. So I had to make sure I was thinking about the right city. But I
Mm-hmm.
know nothing about Lakeshore Drive. So you just taught me something new.
Lakeshore Drive is the most beautiful thing in the world. I'm telling people, even though it's a lot of different points on Lakeshore Drive, but the best part to me is when you got the lake to your right or your left, and then you got the big buildings to the other side. And
Uh-huh.
it's just very hopeful. Like it really makes you want to chase your dreams. It makes you want to not only inspire the world, but impact the world. And I think that's why I call Chicago like a city of hope, a city of dreams, and a city of necessity. City of necessity.
You said necessity?
Hmm.
Why necessity?
I say it's a city of necessity because it's a city of resilience and the necessity of not only resilience, but the need for possibility and what it requires of you. The city of Chicago, it requires you to dream because, especially if you grow up on the south side of Chicago or out west, where it's kind of night and day compared to downtown and up north Chicago. So you see essentially you see like these dreams and you see these big buildings that you're always looking onto, and then it makes you dream, it makes you have hope.
I think that's beautiful. And I think that's a side, I think that's something that people don't talk about when they talk about Chicago. Like you said in the very beginning, when they talk about Chicago, they talk about like the danger. They talk about like it's a trendy city, it's a touristy city, but they don't acknowledge all of the beautiful parts that you just mentioned. So
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you giving us a different outlook on that city. I actually would like to visit Chicago. Tell me about how it is in the winter.
Chicago in the winter,
Is it really
so
that bad?
it's to me it's not bad because I grew up with it, so
That's very true.
I don't see it like the other. It was like last week we down here in New Orleans, they canceled school for like 7 inches of snow.
Because of the
And
snow. What?
but 7 inches, I was on the phone with my little sister, and she was like, "They canceled school." She was like, "Y'all didn't have school. We had it snowed and we had school." And I was like, "Hey," because they used to make us go to school in like 2, 3 feet of snow. The only thing that could stop us going from school to snow was the wind chills, and it had to be below like negative something, like -5, because we're used to
That is
it.
too
But it's
cold.
beautiful.
It, it's it's beautiful, but that's really cold. And that's too cold to be like walking to school. That's way too cold for that. Yeah, no. And I think you're a trooper for even doing that because I would have stayed home. I would have stayed home.
I don't think that was a choice. They made us stay. We were standing at the bus stop in that weather, so it wasn't no not going to school. You missed that bus. Oh, okay. Come back in this house. You don't want to
Oh.
come back in that house if you miss the bus.
Okay, so you mentioned a little bit about your book, which I wasn't sure if you were going to want to talk about this episode, but I am glad to talk about this episode. Is it the same book that you shared with me?
Yes, it is the same book. I think I changed the title a little bit.
Okay. Okay, well let's talk about it. You mentioned your book a little earlier. You were talking about how you wanted to make sure you had Chicago artists or Chicago based artists in your book. Tell us about your book and your experience as a writer, like how that kind of all started for you.
I would say, okay, so we can do the experience as a writer because I think that'll lead into the book.
Okay.
So in high school and then middle school, I was always writing. And my teachers, they were always like, "Oh yeah, you're such a great writer." And even at some point, I was doing people's papers for money. We not gonna say who because they might get me. I ain't get the
Oh
degree yet. We ain't
Lord.
get the degree yet. We ain't get the degree yet. But I was doing people paper for money, and they were like, "Oh, this, and that," and I'm doing about 4 or 5 papers on the same topic in all different perspectives. So writing more so has
That's a
always
real
been an
skill.
escape. I ain't trying to toot my own horn or nothing, but I would say writing has always been an escape for me. It always felt like that was the only way people could hear me yell, if that made sense, or people
Yeah.
could hear me like because I was soft spoken growing up. So I felt like that was the only way people could hear me. And it got to the point where senior year of high school, I told my teacher, I was like, I think I want to write a book. And she was like, let's do it. And I was like, okay, cool. So
Oh,
she started me with that, and she was just giving me advice, teaching me a little as much as she knows about everything. And then I started writing it the summer before I came to college, and it was only like 3 chapters. Only 3 chapters were done. Cool. But then by the end of freshman year, I had finished like the first draft. And what's crazy to think about, like I finished the first draft of that book 3, 4 years ago. And here we are today editing it. And I won't lie to you and say that at times I wasn't eager to be like, oh, yeah, I just want to get it out. I just want to put it out in the world and let my art just be there. But as I look back on it now, I'm like, I'm glad I took that time to hone my skills, hone my writing, because it wouldn't have been what I know it could be.
yeah.
And yes, and what I know it can be is essentially a testimony not only to my city, but a love letter to my city in a way that inspires the essence and the true heart of Chicago, which is the young people. I really believe, even though a lot of people try to demonize and criminalize the youth of Chicago, we are the heart of it. We're the heart and soul of it. And with when it comes to empowering the youth, you see a different light in it because it allows you to see it from their perspectives. And
Yeah.
that's what I did with the book. I interviewed some of my friends, I interviewed my cousins, like a lot of them just to be characters in the book. And it was even crazier to do that because I'm like, wait, I just made characters out of y'all, but I made a whole storyline out of all of our stories that has this streamlined message of just hope and possibility, and but that's also rooted in realism. So
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Okay. I know you're still working on like you're editing the book now. And like, you got to edit it in order for it to be published. Do you have like an estimate day or like do you know when you want to put the book out? Or are you just kind of like going with the flow, making sure it's right first?
I think I'm making sure it's right first because when I had first signed, well, first started working and then eventually signed with my agent, my literary agent, it was more so she asked me this question: do you want your book to essentially touch Chicago or do you want it to touch the entire world? And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, hmm. I'm like, I want this to touch the entire world because I feel like it can help the entire world.
Yeah.
And she was like, if we're gonna do that, then we just gotta be patient. We gotta wait because part of getting your art out to the world is the right exposure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like if I would have put it out way too early back then, or even within the last year, it wouldn't be what it is today. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Are you comfortable telling us the name of the book or do you feel like it's going to change again? What's your comfort level on this?
I love it, and I'm at that level where it's like, oh, I have this undying reassurance, and this is hard. Can't nobody tell me it's not hard because I know it's hard. I don't care. But the name of the book is entitled Dream City Kids, so it'll be Dream, comma City Kids, and I think it accumulates the message of the book, but it also
Hmm.
accumulates what I'm trying to tell the people. Is more so just like dream,
Yeah.
dare to dream. So,
Yeah. I think that's beautiful. And that's something we'll definitely be looking out for whenever you put it out. Like let me know when you put it out so that we can make sure we promote it on the platform because
of
I
course.
The way you talk about your city, the way you talk about the world is different from how I have heard a lot of people, especially from our generation, see our world today. And I think it's important that we amplify voices like yours because you do speak hope. You do speak life. You do speak encouragement and of dreams. And I think if we focused a little more on that, humanity might be in a better space. So please, we will be looking out for Dream City Kids. We'll be looking out for it. I'm
Of
excited.
course.
I'm excited.
I'm
Uh,
excited too.
okay, dang. Hold on, because I wanted to ask that question, but I had so many other questions while you were talking. So hold on.
It's okay. I'm here to chat. I'm here to yap with you. I have no problem.
Okay, so you based your characters on your family, your friends, the world around you, and you wrote it from your perspective, not necessarily the perspective that you're getting from social media or the perspective that you're getting from other people. You're writing it from your perspective, how you see your city. Tell me a little more about where that hope comes from. Tell me a little more about how you maintain hope even when you hear all of these other things about the world, your city, your environment.
Hmm. Okay. So which one we gonna answer first? Okay. So I would say where the hope comes from is more so the memories of my city. It allows me to be like, nah, when you say, oh, all they do is shoot and kill, this, and that, I'm not believing that because growing up, we had block parties at my auntie house every summer on the same week. The whole block was there. And at the end of it, everybody, the kids in the street, we hitting the chemo step, the D-Lo shuffle, we bopping, we doing everything. We it's love. It really is. It's a community of love and prosperity. And when I think about what was instilled in me growing up, when it comes to not so pleasant parts, the pleasant parts also came from the people of the city and the city itself. It showed me a lot, and it showed me that as long as we're willing to see a dream and willing to nurture it and willing to invest in it and forget all of the money things such as that, but do it because you want to help the world or you want to help your environment, then yeah, you're good. Now, how we keep hope and maintain it was crazy. I called like last time I went home, it was for a grad school visit for the University of Illinois Chicago because we're in that stage where we're applying to grad schools now. Dang, I feel
Uh-huh.
old. But
Uh-huh.
uh, oh man, ooh, ooh, my knees just got a little sore thinking about that.
Oh my gosh. And you know, by the time this
But
episode comes out, you'll have graduated already.
what?
Yep. Happy graduation.
Oh,
Congratulations.
crazy! Thank you. The locks is gonna be longer, man. They gonna be like, wait, what? That's not the same person. I'm like,
Oh, that is I didn't even think about that. Yep.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
So yeah. But when I went home, it was more so not only did I get reinvigorated with hope, but I was writing way more. I was writing like doing some of my best writing that I think I have when I went home for that visit. And it wasn't even the fact that I was at that school, but it was being there with some of my cohort members from McNair. They had never been to Chicago, and
Yeah.
some of them have never been out of Louisiana. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna show y'all a little bit around because we was in the loop on the north side of the loop, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna show y'all around what I can and show y'all some culture. And they was like, oh, this is the best Mexican food I've ever had because they're both Latino, and they were like, oh, this is amazing. I said, I told you, we got everything in the city, got everything, and it felt really good for it to show them this city and the possibilities that it can have and
Yeah.
where they can be. It's like, yes, this is it. And so yeah, I would think simply being at home and being driving down Lakeshore Drive, sitting at the lake or 31st Street Beach, that gives me hope. That itself, being able to see those big buildings and just be like, man, man.
That could be yours one day.
Oh no,
Um,
that's gonna be mine.
mm, see, and I think we so often I don't think we hope with enough affirmation. Like just in you correcting me just now, it's like a lot of us think, oh, okay, I could have this, I could have that. Not I'm going to have it. Like even speaking life over yourself is something that a lot of people aren't doing that you are. And I just wanted to be acknowledged that that is taking you far. Like I need that to be
Thank
acknowledged.
you. Thank
Um
you. Thank you.
you said a whole lot. So hold on. Because one, I'm gonna have to go out there and try the Mexican food. I'm gonna need some recommendations. One day I'm gonna go out there because I wanna go. We'll talk about that off the pod because I would like to go to Chicago
I got
soon. Um, but I'm gonna need to try that Mexican food because I believe we got the best Mexican food. But everybody like Texans thinks they got the best Mexican food, and Texans do not have the best Mexican food. I'm sorry to tell you. But I feel like Chicago could give us a run for our money. I'm willing to believe and to bet that Chicago's Mexican food is good. So I'm gonna need some recommendations because I'm gonna have
Oh
to test that
yes.
theory out for myself.
I got you. I'm gonna send you to all. I'll send you to all the elote ladies to get you a little corn in a
Oh,
cup.
I love elote.
Hmm.
Okay, okay. Okay, so you started off talking about kind of the morals that were instilled in you. Can you tell us a little more about that? Can you tell us more about how what was instilled in you, and then how was it strong enough to stick? Like it's probably been years. Like we get told stuff when we're like 6, but now we're what, 21, 22. How do we make sure that stuff sticks? How do you reinforce that in your life?
Hmm. I think the way that I reinforce it is because I understand the power that it has and how it has made me the person I am today.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, they ask me that question of more so, how are you so hopeful? How are you so this, and that? And I always give them this answer. It is, people tell me I'm being overly poetic when I say it, but I say, I was raised by the unconditional love of black women. It's like, oh, they're like, what? But for me, being raised by the unconditional love of black women, I was also raised by the discipline of black men. So my dad was very disciplined. He was very strict. He was always on us. He played no games. But when I went over my grandma's house and all of them, they're surrounding you with love and there's so much community. So you find duality in it all because if you lean one way too much, it's gonna have negative
Yeah.
effects and positive effects. But if you same way for the other way, so
Yeah.
yeah,
And what were some of the things that they were kind of teaching you growing up? What were some things you heard a lot growing up?
it was crazy. It was crazy. Okay, so growing up, um, my dad used to always tell us don't. We used to get in trouble a lot because he was like, "Don't crack jokes with people because if you get to that point where you want to fight, I'm looking at you like, why did you start cracking jokes?"
Mm.
So we would crack jokes with each other, and we would take it there because we family, we good. Uh,
Oh
another
God.
one would be more so. It would be love. I would say the ideal and the example of unconditional love, but I don't even think it was direct. It was more so subconscious because when I think of my grandma and I think of my auntie, when every time I used to come over their house eating up all their food, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you need to bring a link card with you," and then
Oh.
that's the they always let me come back over because that was the unconditional love they had for me, and it showed. Like I really appreciated that, and I appreciate it still to this day because they still have that unconditional love. But
Mm.
I think that was the biggest one because it just allowed me to understand that unconditional love is real, and not only is it real, but since I was raised by it, I am capable of it.
Yeah. That's powerful. That's beautiful too. And I think I don't often think about the dynamic that having both like a stern male presence and that unconditional love of a woman has, and how much that can be such a supportive backbone to like having such a hopeful upbringing or making sure you maintain that.
And was crazier about that. is kind of when I got older and I started to realize, oh, like, okay, I got to start figuring some stuff out on my own. So around like 10, 11, I turned to rom coms. I'm sorry, I did. I
Okay.
turned to rom coms.
It's okay. You don't have to apologize. I love a good rom com. So
Like, is it was crazy because it was rom coms and it was also inspirational movies. So like Coach Carter, Hurricane
yeah,
Season, Brown Sugar.
yeah.
What else? It was really invigorating. And what's even crazier, COVID helped with this as well
Okay.
because COVID allowed me the time to more so to sit with myself and really figure out more so who I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And like that's when I did my deep dive into hip hop. And I started with I Used to Love Her by Common. That was the first record I ever bought.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was. Well, in that time period, I had the time to more so look at myself, and I invested into hip hop, invested into to love, and then another thing I used to do was put my music on, and because I was always in the house with my dad, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna ride my bike up and down the street, and I would do that for hours on end every day, just riding my bike, listening to hopeful music. It was like a scene out of a movie.
I'm sorry. Wait.
Simply just
How old were you when you were riding your bike for hours on end?
Oh, this was in high school, so this was about like
Oh, okay,
15,
okay,
16.
okay. I'm
I'm sorry,
still
the
thinking
jump.
like you're 10. I'm like, wait a minute. No, 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 no. Okay, okay, yes, yes.
Yes. What's crazy is that I really learned to ride my bike later than everyone. It was at about 12, maybe 14. It was
Kale,
late.
I just learned how to ride a bike, Kale. So, no, you know, don't even feel
I'm
bad.
sorry. You know?
Yeah.
Because and what's even crazier about is the way I write about this in the book a little bit about how I learned to ride a bike, but it's more so metaphorical and poetic. But
Okay.
the real raw version of it is I was learning how to ride a bike on my little cousin's bike. It was this pink bike and it had training wheels on. No, the training wheels was off. Training wheels was off. It was at 9, 10 o'clock at night. My auntie is across the street sitting on the porch. And I remember it because it was so vivid. And the stars were shining very bright, cool. And my cousin, she was going behind me, and I was like, all right, let me try myself. And I'm doing it. I'm yelling across. I said, Auntie, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Yeah, that was how I learned to ride a bike.
That's beautiful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's beautiful. First thing that came to my mind when you first started talking was 10, 11 is a pretty early age to feel like you got to start learning stuff on your own. Can you tell me more about why you felt that way, or I guess what you were trying to figure out? Like, what were you kind of looking for?
It was more so life, I guess, because it was growing up. That was like a hard time for me, my dad, and my brother because we were all staying together. And my mom had passed when I was 4, so I did have other
Okay.
siblings, but most of them stayed with their moms. So it was like, okay, cool. Me and my brother, we're the only ones staying with our dad.
Yeah.
And when we were staying with them, it was we were bouncing around from house to house. We even like battled with homelessness for a second, and it was it was that like being at that point where you're at what we would describe as like the lowest possible point with not only the people you love but the people who are going through it with you. So
Yeah.
you're not going through it alone, but you're at this very low point, to the point where it's like, okay, I wouldn't say the innocence was gone, but it was more so life. You saw life for what it was and also what it can be, because it's something different. And I remember my favorite author, he said it's something about seeing the a city when you're unhoused. It's something about seeing a city for what it truly is, outside of what it tries to promote itself to be. When you're seeing the city unhoused, especially at night, and I believe there's so much truth in that because you see the rawness of it, you see the truth, and yeah, I think that's what caused me to feel right at a different age.
Okay. I think it's beautiful that even when you get to see the city for what it was, you choose to see it in light. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? A lot of people choose to see it, especially in situations like that, with resentfulness. And that just wasn't your story. Yeah, I think that's a really big deal. I think that's a really big deal. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so wait, because I was writing stuff down as you were talking so that I wouldn't forget, but I was looking, so now I look down and it's chicken scratch. Um oh. Okay. So boom, when you were first talking, you were talking about how important it is to do things for love, not for money, but because you genuinely want to make a good impact on the world. And I think
Hmm.
that is something in and I talk about this all the time on the podcast because I despise it. But I talk about hustle culture all the time on the pod because we are conditioned to think, okay, like I need my impact on the world needs to make me profit. I always need to be doing something. I always need to be producing. And it does not leave a lot of room, one, for creativity, but two, to be like an actual human being and to treat other people like human beings. And I notice you take a lot of time to like treat other people with love, like just like your therapist said that you are a living embodiment of love. You treat people that way, like it's not a fluke. And so I want to know more about like how you maintain doing things for love, because that's something that I struggle with personally, like right now today.
Hmm.
So I need that for me.
So, how we maintain treating people with love, I would say to answer that, when I was doing a deep dive into James Baldwin, it was, and I think that was around freshman year, I learned that he said this one time. He said, I look at you or a stranger on the street as if I would look at myself. So essentially, the way that I'm treating people, when I'm treating them with love and things such as that, it's because I'm seeing you as a reflection of me. Even like the worst
Mm.
qualities of you as a person, that's still a reflection of me because we are all humans. So that means I'm capable of what you're doing, and that means you're also capable of me.
Oh,
Like
that's
capable of,
good.
yes.
Oh, that's good. That keeps you from being judgmental. Yeah, it keeps you from being
Hmm.
judgmental. Keep going.
Yes. And if I'm right, you were asking about earlier how we treat people with love and well taking time, and especially with hustle culture. And I hate hustle culture too. It's slowly diluting the arts, and I say this all the time.
Yes.
Yes, is diluting it because essentially people aren't doing these arts. They aren't making music. They aren't shooting films. They aren't taking pictures because this is a part of their humanity. Like
Yes.
this isn't a part of something that they need to do, even if they're not getting paid, or else they won't be able to live life fulfilled.
Yes.
Because this is what that feeds the soul. Like personally, I can say from personal experience, if I wasn't writing, I'm not the person I am today. I don't know if I'm here today, honestly. So to think that hustle culture has impacted not only art, but we can take more so music and film, for example. When you think about it, it's not a lot of people, where it is a lot of people that are doing their art because they simply love to do it. Like they
Yeah.
could be broke, doesn't matter. Long as they're doing their art and they have a sustainable living, they're cool.
Yeah.
They are cool. And it's other people who more so get into the art for the money, and I feel like that is where that's not good because what is the best way to explain this? I think the best way to explain it is if as when when you have artists and things that more so get in for the money, they
Yep.
don't care about like more so their message and things such as that. And essentially the long road, it's
Yeah.
fast money, very fast. It's like, oh, same with fashion, fast fashion. Everybody just wants to print the beanies with the bubble letters, but there's no creativity, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But when you have people who genuinely care about the art, like no, like they treat it with respect, and they want everybody else to treat it with that same respect because they know what it can do for people and do for not only your soul but your heart. It can heal you, and when you have people who treat it like that, it makes the people around them treat it with that same respect as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. And I'm like, I'm here with you, and I'll be trying not to interrupt you because I know that there's a delay. So I'm like, I want you to make sure, like, I want to make sure we hear what you have to say. But I'm like, I didn't even think about that. Like, we talk about it a lot with music and how, a lot of people are just putting out songs to make sure they're TikTok trend, like they're TikTok trendy, or like how it doesn't take a lot of effort for somebody to be famous, right? Like you don't have to, like back in the day, I was watching a video and it was, I can't even remember the song, but it was a video and Beyonce, it was a video of Beyonce and it was a music video and she was dancing with
Hmm.
Usher. And the video itself was just art. Like the way, like Usher was dancing, she was singing, it was cinematic. And we don't get that a lot nowadays. And I never thought about the fact that a lot of that is related to hustle culture. Like, not directly, not like hustle culture did this, but in the
Nah,
sense
you
that like
right.
we're doing a whole lot of things to satisfy other people, but not necessarily making the art or creating the things that we truly want to enjoy. You're
Hmm.
speaking. You're
Thank you, thank you. You're
speaking.
speaking too. You're speaking too. Let's not play. And what's even crazier about it is that like a lot of people will say, yes, we sometimes we just want stuff that's fun. And it's like, okay, I understand we every fun music is cool every now and then.
Yeah.
But if you're making fun music that if you see it can have a negative impact not only on your culture but on the people, like the
Right.
mindset of the people, that's when you have to ask yourself, is this the art that I want the people to like to know of me, essentially.
Yes. Like, is this something that you're going to be proud of later on down the line? Like,
Mm-hmm.
we, yeah. And I agree. When you are doing things for a trend, you're not concerned about the impact that they have on other people. You're not concerned about the message that they're sending or what that's doing to the generation after you. You know what I'm saying? That cuz that's something I think about a lot. Like how you were talking about how young people are like the heart of Chicago. I think about that for our generation. Like we need to be more considerate and mindful for the people who are for the legacy that we are leaving for the ones that come behind us. And so especially when it comes to music, and I hate to be like that, the things that our youth are listening to, like, I see why everybody's looking at us crazy because we no
Yeah.
longer are putting a lot of effort or even into the beats and like the production of beats and how that's made. Like we're not even putting a whole lot of effort into, like you said, the message.
Hmm. And what
Yeah.
comes with that as well is it's also the part of that problem is also the people who are putting out the music. So record companies, the radio stations, everyone down from a DJ at a backyard cookout to
Yes.
the record execs. It's a big part it falls on them too. And that can go for any industry because when you think about culture and you think about black culture and hip hop, especially art in general, think about like hip hop back in the day to get to mainstream level, you essentially had to go through the work. You
Right.
had to go from performing at
Yes.
your local park and things such as that
Yes.
to get to that level. And then even back then, DJ certain every DJ had a certain style. Like it wasn't, oh yeah, everybody has these few songs that
Yes. At
everybody's
the
gonna play.
same music at every function. No, we don't want to hear that. Yes, I'm with you.
We don't. It was like if you wanted this type of sound, you go get DJ such and such. You go get DJ Ferris back in Chicago. Cool, this and that. And then at the radio stations, you also had certain radio stations would play different types of music, and
Yeah.
they would play a Common, J Cole, people like that on one station, and then they also playing on a different station. They playing 50
Yes.
Cent. They playing Jesus, whoever would be popping at that time. I don't think
Yeah.
they was popping at the same time. But yeah, it's an accumulation of a lot of different parts, and everyone is essentially doing their part subconsciously. Everyone is turning the wheel of mainstream art, where it's like the mainstream art doesn't need talent, it doesn't need dedication anymore.
Yeah.
But all it takes is just for, and a lot of people don't think, oh, I'm just one person. It's not going to change because I'm changing, so I might as well just get my coins while I can. But that's the problem.
Yeah.
If you don't think your one change can affect, how can you expect somebody else to think that next to
I
you?
be saying that all the time. Like, yes, we're just one person, but you're not the only person who thinks the way you do. So you're one
Mm-hmm.
person, but I'm two. And then somebody else is three. And that's how we make change. You're in my brain, Kale. I need you. You know what? Stay in my brain because you speaking the right kind of message.
Of course.
Yeah, and you know what? You said something earlier that I didn't even think about. Like earlier, you said you were saying something because I don't remember it verbatim, but you were basically saying like basically you should be, for lack of better words, you should be the algorithm. You should not conform to it. Like you should make art that means something to you and let that be popular rather than doing something based on the trend. And I think a lot of us are I think a lot of people are they're either afraid or they're lazy. And I hate
Mm.
to use the word lazy because that's a mean word, but it's like a trend is easy. A trend is easy money. Like you said, fast money, easy money. It's easy to put yourself on the map like that, but then you get caught up in a trend and you stray so far from the original art that you wanted to make to where now you have to refine it. It takes if we prioritized originality and let that speak for us or let that speak for itself, like almost like the right kind of people will find you. You know what I mean? Like I don't think we
Hmm.
give originality enough opportunity to be seen anymore, to like take the time to be acknowledged and to be loved and to be valued and to be popular before we're like, you know what, this not working no more. Let me just go with the trend.
Hmm. And you're right, because there's some people who get essentially lazy, and I wouldn't even say it's just lazy. You see what I wouldn't say purpose, but you see what you wanted. You see your intentions with that was from the jump. Your
Yeah.
intentions was to make money. So of course it's not affecting you. Of course you don't care. Of course it was easy for you to, but if your intention or you just wanted to be famous, you wanted notoriety or such and such. So yes, of course that's gonna happen where you're like, okay, if this gets me one step closer, I can play the game to change the game.
Hmm.
But what I don't like about that is more so why do we have to continuously play the game? Why can't we just say, I'm not playing this game no
Why
more?
can't we make a new
I'm going
game?
to change.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with
And
you.
what I would say was even crazier for that, for my art, like writing, is, and me and my agent, we talk about this all the time, how you see nowadays, you see a lot of memoirs. You see a memoir popping out left and right, left and right.
Yeah.
And memoirs are like the reality television of books. I said
I
it.
I love a good memoir. But you're right. It's because I like a good memoir because I like the drama. Like I want to know about your life. I want to know about your life. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yes.
We're
And
messy.
when you think about literature as a whole, literature, whether that be nonfiction or fiction, it was simply the skill of storytelling. And to be able to create a unique story with a
Yeah.
unique voice and something not even unpredictable, but it could be predictable as ever. But the story in between the beginning and the end is what makes it beautiful.
Yeah.
Nowadays, people don't even like they don't want to take time to do that.
Yeah.
They don't.
I never thought of that. But you know what? I am a consumer in the literary world. I am a person that reads. I am not a writer. I write poetry, but not books. So you just opened a new door for me because you're right. There are a whole bunch of people coming out with memoirs. Quite frankly, people that I wouldn't have even thought like would be interested in writing books coming out and writing books. Meanwhile, all of the books where it's like, okay, you've created a whole fantasy world. You've created your own languages here. Like these characters, I am now friends and family with these characters. Well, I don't have to use my imagination anymore because I don't have to use my imagination anymore. One, because I'm reading a memoir, but neither do you because it's so easy to just write about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's interesting because even you are writing about yourself in a capacity, but you are still incorporating creativity and, dare I say, originality.
Yes, yes. And was crazy. Somebody, my agent, she told me a while ago. She said, "Kill, you're like a tour guide, but you're not a regular tour guide when it comes to Chicago. You're one of those tour guides who like, oh, y'all see that stained glass window over there? This was telling you the whole story about the stained glass window. And it's the minor details. And I think that's what I wanted to bring out is the minor details, not only within Chicago and the experiences of Chicago, but essentially the tapestry of community and hope and love that we have that gets overlooked way too much.
Yeah.
So to be able to do that, it was like, okay, not only do I want to do that, but I love music.
Yeah.
I'm a music head. Anybody who knows me knows that playlist is 36 hours long, and it's not the only one. I gets down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I want to incorporate my love for music for this. So I was like, okay, let's do a playlist for the book as well. And people were telling me,
Oh,
oh,
that's
you're
so
writing like
cold. Oh, that's cold. Okay, go ahead. Go
no, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So I was doing a playlist for it, and I wanted to be like, oh, not just where you just listening to the playlist through the whole time. I want it to be like where you reading along. It's like, oh, this song pops up. It's like, oh, wait, let me put this song in. Let me read because now I'm in it. I'm in it because it's multiple mediums of art. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, you creating a
and
whole experience for people.
exactly.
You better. You better. Okay, I'm sorry. Keep going.
It's okay because what was crazy the first time I saw that, or even the idea of it, was in On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. And
Okay.
they played Biggie, like they said, oh, Biggie was playing this, and I played Biggie one, and I'm reading, and I'm just flying through this. I'm like, this is a beautiful idea, but it doesn't do that for the rest of the book. Same with this new book I read called Love Radio by Ebony Liddell. Go get that because that book that reinvigorated that
Hold
hope for
on.
love.
Let me write it down.
Please do, please do.
What was the first book called again?
On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, and then Love
Love
Radio
Radio.
by Ebony Liddell. Now, Love Radio, that is a black rom com based in Detroit, around Detroit culture. Mm, mm,
Say no
yeah,
more. Say
call
no
it.
more. It's already written
But
down.
yeah. So with things like that, it was like, okay, I want to include that. But I've also recently, not even recently, but in college, I became a connoisseur and appreciator of visual arts as well. So it's like, okay, for the covers of the book, I want to do like three different simultaneous covers. Not because I'm trying to be greedy for money, but simply because personally, I love collectibles. A vinyl, like you telling me you just dropped two records and one got a different cover than the original, I'm a cop it every time. Every time I'm gonna get it. So cool. I was like, okay, I want it to be multiple different covers of the book, but because I want to reinvigorate that possibility and that hope for Chicago, I
Yeah.
want all Chicago artists to do a cover of the book. And I
Yeah.
want, because I even wrote it down, I want not only that, but I also want to get them compensation and possible royalties for the book as well, because you're adding your art to my art, and we're making this tapestry. We making this beautiful thing, and it's like, okay, cool. This is what we're gonna do. I love this. And hold on, let me go to the versions. Okay, so I would have one that would be called the Daydreaming Edition. So
Okay.
one artist would do that because the book is based on dreams and hopes. We have to have that. Cool.
Yeah.
And then one would be Sounds of the Shy. So Sounds of Chicago, all Chicago artists throughout the sound, like 90% of the soundtrack. Cool. And then we would have Sounds to a City. So that would just be the broad soundtrack where it's like, okay, before I replaced everybody with Chicago artists, this is what it was. So if you want
Oh,
that, you get that. People tell me that I write like a screenwriter, and I'm thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, this can easily be turned into a movie. So to turn it into a movie, you got the soundtrack, you got everything you need.
right. I'm like you're already prepared to take it to the next level. And I think first of all, as you're talking, I'm like, okay, your appreciation for multimedia is creating a whole experience for your book. Like when people read your book, they are going to be immersed. And as a reader, that is exactly what the people are looking for. I'm like, like when I read, I want to
Mm-hmm.
be I want to be right where you are. I want to be standing right where you're standing, looking at what you're looking at. Like that is something I definitely can appreciate and I'm really excited for. What was I about to say? I think sometimes when you have so much ambition and you have an appreciation for so many things and you want to incorporate them, people can, like, because people don't see that often, it's like oh, okay, well, don't think too far too fast, or oh, okay, but you might have to stick to one. And I think that's something that we hear a lot, especially our generation, because we are so ambitious. And I
Mhm.
like, do you ever get that? How do you make sure you don't let that distract you from what you already know about your project?
I'm gonna be honest. It was very hard at the beginning because it was some people who were even telling me, "Oh, like you're good. Just take it slow. Everything. You're 19. You got plenty of time to essentially make it what you want and things such as that." And then because I also do poetry and prose in the book, so
Yeah.
it's like regular prose writing, and then possibly at the end of this chat, well, at the end of the chapter, you get in this poem, and it's like, whoa, everything is telling this streamlined story
Yeah.
just in different ways to connect with people. And at first, a lot of people was crazy. Somebody, my teacher, she told me that I was like, I don't know if I want to do poetry or writing. She said, just do both. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. But then it was some people who were like, oh, you know, what about just doing this or that? Like you good, like your poems hit. What about just doing a poetry joint? And it's like, no, I know that the prose are just as good as the poetry. So I'm going to stick with it. I don't care
Yeah.
what people are saying. It's when you have that undeniable, reassuring confidence in what you're doing and your purpose and your art, can't nothing shake you. And it takes a long time to get to that point. It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. But in the end, it's like you are creating something that I've never seen before. So I'm sure you're creating something that a lot of people haven't seen before, which are going to take you to the next level. Like people have such a hard time mm, encouraging what they have not seen. So let me
Mm-hmm.
be the one to tell you that I'm excited. Okay. Like if nobody else is encouraging you, I'm excited. I'm ready to see it. Like I'm ready. I'm ready to see it. Do you still keep in contact with your English teacher?
Yes, I told her about my graduation. The only problem is that her daughter graduates on the same day because we were in the same
Uh
class. It was like, understandable. But I know you here with me in spirit, and I know you here with me in love. And what's even crazy about it is there's been so many people like my English teacher that came along the way
yeah.
that reinvigorated not only my confidence but my hope for within my art.
Yeah.
So it was this one mentor, my mentor from Vanderbilt, my summer research experience at Vanderbilt, and I was studying
Mhm.
poetry. Her name is Lily Simonson, and what was crazy, she was from Gary, Indiana. I said, Gary, I said, you grew up like 30 minutes away from me, if that.
Oh
I'm like,
wow.
huh, okay. So she saw my writing and she said essentially everything we were talking about, that hope for Chicago, that light, essentially trying to make sure that that is instilled in history forever. And she saw my writing on day one and she told me, she's like, Kale, I want you to know that your writing is worthy. It's worthy of all the highs, the lows, the praise, everything, because you're willing to not give up and you're resilient. Your writing is beautiful. And I didn't know I needed that at that time, but at that time my confidence was lacking. And that summer I pushed that. So many poems that's in this book came, and probably for the next book came from that summer. I won't lie to you.
Wow. That's beautiful. I'm like somehow, not somehow because God created us, but it's like God always knows when we need a little extra encouragement, when we need a little extra push, and He knows who to send. Like for the different seasons of your life, He will always send some type of angel to like be there and encourage you. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. So you're already
Yes.
working on another book. You're working on two books at the same time?
Okay, so I with last year I would say I had a lot of creative classes,
Mm.
and it was this one screenwriting class with Christian. We love Christian. Damn, he the goat.
We
He
love
one
him.
of the goats.
We love
We
him.
love him. So he was like, screenwriting. He said, write a scene like the last scene, this, and that of a play or like something you're working on. So I'm like, okay, I want to choose to do the next book because I would say just to sneak this in there, a little tangent. When it comes to working on different projects and when you're giving your all to an album or book or like something and you're not big, you don't really have the freedom to just go back and forth because that first project requires all of your attention and your efforts, because when that makes it, then the other one you can
Uh
go
huh.
back and forth. But people who are bigger, they have the ability to, oh, right, I'm writing this, but I'm also writing this at the same time. You have the ability to do that because you made it already. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but for us still trying to just just open that door, because when you open it, I'm gonna kick that joint in. Like, it's just that simple. Open that, like, I'm just trying to get them to open the door. I'm trying to finesse my way up in there, finagle a little bit. And yeah. So with last semester we were writing, and I wrote this scene about the end of a book. It would be called Journey to Love. And it would be like LUV, and it would be based
Mm-hmm.
on college experience of a young man at an HBCU and his
Mm-hmm.
journey with love and self love. It and I was coming up with the end of the book, and I don't want to like give too much detail because it's that's one of them ideas where I was like, yo, I'm tough. But actually, I can say it because it's on record. We good. We good. So, hey, anybody take me? We straight. We straight. So, essentially, it would be a Mardi Gras meet cute.
I remember you
And
talking
I was
about
like, a
this.
Mardi
Yeah. Okay,
Yes,
keep going.
yes. So, about the Mardi Gras meet cute, and it would be based in New Orleans because just like Chicago, New Orleans has always been painted in this picture of darkness. But I asked I write this in the book a lot. We've only seen ourselves in the depths of our own darknesses. But what if someone was to show us ourselves glistening in the light of our new inevitability?
Hmm.
And that kind of configures to what I want to write about when it comes to every single book. I want to write about not only the story and everything, the minor details, I also want to write about place and how
Yeah.
important these places that are depicted in darkness, how beautiful they actually are.
Yeah.
So New Orleans, everybody knows New Orleans from Mardi Gras, cool, but it would be this Mardi Gras meet cute that happens at Zulu parade. Because come on, what?
Yeah.
Forget, not saying forget all the other parades, but everybody know the big dog.
Zulu is the biggest. Yeah. Yeah.
Zulu is big dog. Let's not even play. So it would take place at Zulu, and as like bees are flying into the air, these two people would catch them at the same time, and it would be this meet cute moment when they look up, and it's like, whoa, what's your name? Like, da da da. And what's even crazier, I was thinking, like, I was editing this a little bit too, is with a song. It would be a song up in there, and the song that would be playing would be Lee and Lovey by Smino.
Oh.
It would be Lee and Lovey. But hear me out, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out.
Okay, I'm
So the
listening. I'm
reason
listening.
why it cooks and it eats is because the girl's name would be Lovey. So like Luvie.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Song playing in the background, Lee and Lovey. But her nickname, because her real name is Lovey, her nickname would be Love. The book would be
Mm-hmm.
called Journey to Luv. Love. That
Mm-hmm.
would be her name, Lee and Lovey. I'm like, ooh,
Mm-hmm.
ooh,
Mm-hmm.
ooh.
Yeah. 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 You know what? That album, quite quick sidetrack or side note, that album, I have a playlist in my Spotify called called Nola Drives, because there are some songs that specifically remind me of like the constant drive I will make from Suno to Dillard, like the constant,
Mm-hmm.
turning on Franklin, like driving like this. There's some songs that specifically remind me of my time at Dillard, and that whole album is in there. Like that whole album is sprinkled all in the playlist, specifically Lee and Levy. I think that's no, that's not the first song, but that, yeah. So when you mentioned it, I'm like, oh, I'm already knowing. Like that already sets a certain scene for me because that song always reminds me of New Orleans.
Yes. And what's crazy is that a lot of people, especially specifically here at Dillard, we rock with Smino heavy.
Oh
And I
yes.
like what? Smino don't know. You come to Dillard, man, you gonna have a pop out.
Oh,
We
you
popping
come to
out for you.
Dillard, I might have to fly down. I ain't even gonna hold you, brother.
I'm there. If you ain't got one fan, I died. Respectfully. So what's crazy about that is that I feel like not only Dillard, but HBCUs in general, they allow, specifically smaller HBCUs, they allow for you to build this oasis. They
Yeah.
allow you, like you said, to redefine yourself and to understand and go through these
Yeah.
processes of growth. And for me, one of the big growths I had was becoming love, like understanding that I am loved because I simply just want to give. That's it. I just want to give you love. That's all. So it's for Lee and Lovey, that that whole album, like you said, Love for Rent, is so beautiful because it felt like that was him. That was him coming into his artistry as a person,
Yes,
like
yes,
everything.
yes, yes. It felt like we really got to get to know him. Like hearing like Defibrillator and Blue Billy being about his family. It was like I am getting to know you. Like, yeah, that album was good. That album was
And
good.
what's the From the Source
Oh,
with his little cousin? You
he
know that
said
man? He's
pork
like,
sandwich
yeah,
eating. Yeah, yeah.
like people don't know. I get so happy when I hear the ending of the song and his cousin house on. He's like, yeah, I give my different songs.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah. A masterpiece.
sweeto. Yes.
And I feel like those are my favorite pieces of art. And I think that's why, not to double back, but I think that's why I like memoirs so much. Like, yes, because I want to hear about your life and how messy it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really want to read what's his name? I think it's Prince Harry, the one who married Meghan Markle. I gotta read his book because I gotta hear the rundown. But I think for me, what I like most is when I can feel the person through their art. So like we were talking about like people making art based on trends but it not really being from their heart. Well, you can feel that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like I get to know you. I don't connect with you as an artist if you are making something that just gives me a good time. Like okay, yeah, this is a good time, but it doesn't make me a loyal fan. Like it doesn't draw me in. It doesn't make me feel like okay, I know a piece of your story. But I there's this book I like and I always talk about it. It's called Yesterday I Cried. It's by Ayanna Van Zant. Do you know who that is?
Ooh, let me go ahead.
Yeah, write that down, write that
Go
down.
ahead. Write that down real
But do
quick.
you know who that
Yeah.
is? Because I be telling people they don't know who that is.
What's her name? Hold on, it's
And I
loading.
always say it wrong.
Turn this Wi-Fi off
Ayanna
because the Wi-Fi.
Van Zant.
No, I don't know who this is.
You know the Ayanna Fix My Life?
Actually, yeah, Ayana fixed my life.
Yes. Yes, that's her. Okay, so
Man, yes, I know Ayana.
I never watched that show, but I will always see videos and I'm like, this woman is so disrespectful. She's just yelling at everybody. Like, how do they trust her to help them? Because I would be ready to cuss her out. No disrespect. But I would be ready to say some really rude and disrespectful things to her. But I read the book and
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember how I came across it. Like, I think I went to Malik Books, and that's a black owned bookstore out here. And I think I just saw it and picked it up. Like I'm the type I go and I'll pick a book up and then I'll open it to a random page and if I like it I'll get it. Like that's the way I was taught to like books when I was little and I carry that with me today. That book is about her. It starts out with her making the decision on whether or not she's going to fire her manager. It's like her manager's name is Karen and she's trying to figure out like Karen is calling her, texting her, and she's trying to figure out how she can fire Karen, why she needs to fire Karen and why that's so hard for her. So it's like she's setting the scene because she's sitting in the bathtub and
Hmm.
she's like made this whole like she's sitting in the bathtub, she's already told her husband she's going to need like a good 30 minutes to an hour to just sit and wait this out. And she literally walks us through her entire childhood. Like how she walks us through her introductions to love, her introductions to interpersonal relationships, and how in the beginning they were very transactional, and how she could not trust people a whole lot, and how she had to do a whole lot of work and do a whole lot of trial and error to finally get to a place where she trusts people, she loves people, and she can be loved, right? Like she realized how she was looking for love in other people, but she genuinely should be looking for love in herself. And how like and how when she finds love in herself, the love that she deserves really starts attracting her. And so she walks us through that whole experience only to come back at the end of the book and be like, yeah, it's official, I've got to fire Karen. And it's like, girl, we done forgot about Karen. We wasn't even thinking about Karen. You just told us about how your mom and your dad and your stepmom like and for that
I'm sorry. That I just didn't expect that. It's to your mom,
No,
your dad, your step.
I was there. I wasn't even born and I was there. You made me a part of your life. Like you
Mm-hmm.
put me in these pieces of your life that you've revisited, and I'm sitting where you're sitting. Like I feel like I know you to a certain extent. And I think for me it's like, you are an artist. So I would never assume like a person is an artist. I would never assume I know them to their fullest extent. But I think that's how you create that kind of humanity and that kind of community, like letting people into your world. So even with your book, it's like these people, these characters, this city, it's all a part of you. Like it's very
Mm-hmm.
personal to you, and you write very well. I read some of it. You write very well. You put us
Thank you.
exactly where we're supposed to be. And like you mentioned before, like the stained glass window, those details are what makes the story. They are what
Mm-hmm.
place us right where we need to be as readers to feel like we can actually be like in the story.
Yes, you're right. What's crazy about that is I remember at a early point when I was working with my agent because she to start that off she was working with me pro bono, so like for free. She said I believe in your story and I believe in this, so we gonna get this to what we need to get it to, and then I'm gonna start acting like your agent. But right now we just gonna help you get this book right.
Yeah.
But she was telling me, oh yeah, you gotta go deeper. Like you gotta go deeper here, and it's like I just wanted to be not vague, but I want it to be broad so that as many people can connect to it. And then
Yeah.
she told me something that changed how I was writing. She said, the more specific, the more unique, and the more detailed you are, is actually the way people will connect with it because they relate to their own lives within those details. It's not the lack
Yes.
of detail that helps people connect; it's the presence of detail that helps people connect. There you go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Personally, as a reader, I want to hear like you stepped in mud and now your sock is soggy, but you got to walk 12 more miles with a soggy sock. Like those are the type of things that I want to read about. Like I know
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that can seem like wordy or tedious or like, bro, who really cares about this? But I agree with your agent. I mean, she's a professional. Who am I to disagree with her? But it's like those are the things that like pull me in.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah. How did you go about finding an agent?
What even that it was just more so the right people are going to find me because I was presenting my research that I did over the summer at Vanderbilt. I had just got back from Vanderbilt. We are presenting our research in the McNair Scholars like research summit. Cool. And then our old president, Dr. Ford, she came up in there. She's like, okay, I want to see what the scholars got to present. Let's see. So she came to mind last. And I'm just nervous. I'm like, oh Lord. I'm like, okay, let's I'm like, baby. As they say now, they be like, baby. Now I ain't gonna front. New Orleans people, they definitely gonna get on me about that because my homie Tyrone, she
That's
hates
all.
when I say that accent.
Yeah.
She hates it. But it's okay. It's all love. I love. I love. I love. But she came up to me. She was seeing my research. I presented to her this and that. And she was like, She's like, I really love what you're doing here. Da da da. So I want to introduce you to my literary agent. Cool. I'm like, okay, cool. And mind you, again, that still lack of confidence. I'm like, we've applied to a lot of places. I'm just looking for like, what do I do next in terms
Yeah.
of getting this book out there? And I didn't have much hope in it. I was like, you know what? Forget it. Let's just send it. Let's see what happens. Sent her the text, sent her and then she asked, can she see like the manuscript, this, and that? And she read it. And mind you, that manuscript compared to today, I don't know how she saw what could have been in that. Because if that was to come out today, no, my career would be over before it started. No, no. So for her to see that, it was like, dang, this is more so just divine timing. It was the right person, right place, and it worked. It was like, okay, cool. She started working with me that December, well, that fall, and then she called me over the break when she was like, okay, we had finished doing like one full version of the book. Cool. She called me over the break. She was like, Kale, she said, normally, I'll be honest, I'm not taking more than like 3, 4 clients at a time. I'm not. She said, but I told my lawyer, she said, I told my lawyer, I have not been able to get his story out of my head. Like that book,
Oh
like I haven't been able to get out
wow.
of my head.
Oh
And
wow. That is so beautiful. That is remarkable, actually. I'm like, already your work is sticking with people. Oh, I'm
Yes,
so excited.
it's crazy. And to think about that, I remember I forgot it was of course it was a real like an Instagram or a TikTok reel, whatever it was, and it was of if I'm right, Jennifer Lewis. Jennifer Lewis. She said you can't be happy. You can't get to be happy or get to the point of being happy and just expect happiness to come or expect greatness and stuff to come.
Mm,
You have to be happy and great on the way to that. And that
yeah.
made me realize I was like, dang, everything that I want to do at this magnified level, which is reach people, connect with people, impact people, and just give people love. I'm already doing that at like a semi micro level
Yeah.
because when I share the book with like you, like my friends, and that whole winter break where I was just sharing the book with people, they were getting back to me, oh, this, and that, and they still come up to me till this day. Yo, when the book coming out? Da, da, da. And I'm just like, dang, I'm already doing everything I want to do. It's just we
Yeah.
gonna do it on larger levels and different scales.
I think that's beautiful. I think
Yeah,
that's
thank
beautiful.
God.
I think that's beautiful. And I think I'm sorry. That was so
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm like I feel like I'm excited for this message to come out because I know somebody's going to need it, but I feel like you're speaking directly to me because I feel like I am in this season where what? What?
Yes, of course. We're always speaking directly. Like I want you to know that when I am talking, especially to you and all my creative peoples, like I am saying these things because the journey is similar for all of us. It may look different, but it's similar.
Yeah. And I think that's something I'm just grasping cuz I think I just recently grasped myself as like, "Oh, I am a creative. I am a creator." Like that is a title that I can acquire. And I think for me in this season I think for me I am in this season where I'm realizing how important it is to already be doing the work that you want to do before you get to the top. Like you cannot wait. Just like you said, Jennifer Lewis, just like you referred to Jennifer Lewis, you cannot wait to get to the top and then do the things that you want to do. Just like we were talking about hustle culture and changing the narrative. You cannot get the fame and the recognition that you want to have and then switch up your flow. You know what I mean? And then be the person you want to be. Like you got to do that actively right now, that today. And that is how you built that community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this episode is definitely for me as much as it is for all of our other classmates. And I'm really glad I
Of
had you on to
course.
talk about it.
Of course.
Is there
Is
anything
yes.
else you want to share with the good people?
I would say the last. Well, it was probably two things I want to share. Especially one is based off like what you just said and
Yes.
things such as that. It's more so when you're, especially for the creatives and all everyone out there, when you are essentially climbing, you're trying to reach this point. Don't always look up. Don't look up to the point where you forget about the people around you. Because when you think about the people around you, when you create with them, when you're collabing with all of them, the way y'all get to the top is y'all lifting each other up. Because the people at the top,
Yeah.
they not always looking at the bottom. And if they
Yeah.
looking at the bottom, they only looking down there for 2 seconds. They not looking like that. But when we that makes it to the point where we are helping each other now. We are looking out for each other now. We're collabing with each other now. So that way, when we get to the top, oh,
Yeah.
we already know how to work together. We already got community. They was like, oh, how are these creatives so connected? This, and that. It's because we built this from the bottom to the ground
Right.
up.
Yep.
Build community across diagonal before you continue. Well, instead of always trying to build community up, because the people that's next to you that's hungry or all those hungry creatives they like, yeah, nah, I'm in my stuff just as much as you in your stuff. Get with them. Those the
Mhm.
people who really gonna elevate because they gonna make you work just as hard at your craft as they're working at their craft and vice versa. So yeah, that's one thing. What was the last thing? Um, the last thing I would say is more so to remember that at our core we are all love and we all have the capacity to love. Now, I won't say life don't mess us up on the way to that capacity. Life be,
Yeah.
but remember, like you're capable just as much as the next person, and the next person is just as capable of you as you. So remember to remember that, and also remember to give people grace and have patience, because again, everybody is just trying to figure out life, especially this crazy world we're living in now.
Yeah.
Well, the political climate, the social climate, everything. Just give people grace, give people love, and have patience, because that's what we're here for. We're not here to simply just judge one another. I'm here to simply give you love. That's what we're here for. So, yeah.
That was good. That was real
Thank you.
good.
Thank you.
Well, Kale, thank you so much for being on the pod. I'm so glad I got to have you here. I'm so glad you got to grace us with your presence and your energy. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, this
Man.
I'm like, shucks, this was for me. I don't know if it was for anybody else, but this was for me. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you even were here to speak life over the pod and into me, as you always do.
Of
Um,
course. This is the
yeah.
best pod in the world. Like, why we playing? Like, this is top dog.
You heard it here first, guys. It's the best pod in the world.
Best pod in the world right here. Not even playing. Oh, bro, let's stop
and
playing with it.
and we are keeping an eye out for Dream City Kids. I'm
Oh, of
I'm ready. I
course.
mean, take your time. We want it to come out when you want it to come out. We want you to give
Hmm.
us your best, your all. We not rushing it, but we excited for it.
Of course.
A few moments later.
Essentially.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's exactly. Yes, hold on. We can talk about it off camera because I'm like I want to wrap it up, but we got more to talk about.
Of
Um,
course.
so I love y'all classmates. I'm so grateful that y'all have joined us in the classroom today. I know that y'all have walked away with some gems. And I'm just full of eager right now. So I will see y'all next week. I love y'all.
Love, 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 love. It's only what you got. The form of the highest parts. Come on. This is lit. Like, what? We on what school didn't teach me? I made it. I made it.
You
I'm
know
big.
what? You know what's so crazy? I'm like, right now, I be thinking, man, I be having a whole lot of my friends on the pod, but that's because I genuinely love y'all, and we genuinely have such good ideas and such good ambitions, and I have full faith and belief that we will get where we plan to be. But then I'll be
Mhm.
thinking, like, man, in 20 years, people gonna be like, now how in the world they know each other? It's like
Oh,
you don't even
bro.
know. You don't even know.
You don't know. And I tell people this all the time. I'm like, it is a second renaissance coming, and New Orleans is ground zero. The
Oh
amount
my
of
gosh.
creativity that it came through this city in the past 4 years, including you, is crazy.
it, Creativity lives in New Orleans. New Orleans was literally made for art. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. I We're here with it.
Mm-hmm.
We're here with it. And to think that we'll be a part of that is so crazy. And it's such an honor. Like I there's no place I would have rather been than New Orleans. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
hey,
a
you
whole
know
nother
what?
conversation.
That's that. How did
Oh,
you get? Why you choose Dylan? That conversation? Oh,
ah, you really want to know? You want to know why I would choose them again and again and again?
say why you gonna choose them again and again and again?
I'm gonna choose them again and again and again because they made me who I am. Okay, they let me be
Say
who I wanted to be, gave me the grace to grow. And people can say what they want about my fair Dillard, but it'll never change how I feel. Ever,
understandable. Say it again. Come on.
ever, ever. No, yeah. So I'm excited. I'm like in 5 years, in 10 years, people gonna be looking at the tracks like, wait a minute, this is what they look like when they was at the beginning. This is what the
Dang.
middle looked like for them.
You hear me? Like what? And then
Mm,
people gonna look at this in inspiration, kind of the same way we look at other artists, and they gonna be like, "Dang, man! Like this is okay. I know I'm on the right path, essentially." So,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, that's exactly. Yes, hold on. We can talk about it off camera because I'm like I want to wrap it up, but we got more to talk about.